In this video, I'll be updating Minecraft from beta 1.0 all the way to beta 1.8. So let's get straight into it. New base time! Yippee! With a bunch of spirit in me, I decide that I want to make a new base because, well, let's just say I have a lot of energy and I don't want to waste it. I begin chopping down some trees for some wood because I'm kinda out, and I also want to just stay away from my alpha house for a while. I make a little small orchard right next to my little base because I want quick access to wood, and also I want it to look nice, not some messed up forest. As I work on my sea level tunnel, I kind of bump into some kind of lake or whatever, but it's actually just a little pool of water that happened to me right on the path. That was pretty painful to deal with, and also some chickens got into my tunnel, so I guess I have some company for now. This is gonna be painful to deal with. Are you kidding me, an ice river? It ain't gonna be so bad. All I had to do is just break through this entire thing, go through that weird looking cave over there, and then hopefully I'll be scot-free. I'm done with that for now. I make my journey back to my alpha house just so then I can move my crap all the way to my beta house. I really hate how laggy this part is. Yeah, this version was pretty much just me doing nothing, except for like maybe working on my base, but as I watch the sun rise for the last time in beta 1.0, on my way back to base. At least this went over quickly though, but I still am not happy with the fact that this part is so laggy. There was also a creeper right there, so that's a plus. I'm pretty sure that was a record for the fastest version I ever did. I destroy a creeper swimming peacefully next to my bridge. I go on a journey back to my alpha house to grab my stuff and bring it back to my beta house. I return to my beta house to put my stuff back. I place my chests to get... Okay? I think I accidentally made a triple chest. Okay. I'll just pretend that never happened. On my journey to grab more stuff, I get hunted down by the paparazzi because they know that I'm filming. That was scary. I guess the cycle repeats over and over again. I am briefly greeted by security who was not happy with the idea of me crossing back to my home. Then I flee. A zombie jumps down to me, which I wasn't too fond with that idea. Wow, nobody wants me to cross back to my base. After a rough night, I decide to make myself feel better, not really, by organizing for agonizingly long minutes. This is sadly what comes from us when we sacrifice for you viewers, so please subscribe. Back to the meat grinder. Again. I sit by my campfire one last time because I'm pretty sure this will be the last time I sit by this exact campfire, so might as well enjoy it. This journey went smoothly. I organize my luggage into chests. Something briefly gives me a heart attack even though it's just a chicken. Huh, perfect timing. Maybe that's a sign of good luck. Don't fail me now, son. It broke the wrong chest apparently. Wow, that son did fail me. And very terribly indeed. Because I had to cycle through every singular item in that large stack. If you thought that was painful, now I had to organize my chests with my new stuff that I brought back. See what we go through just for your entertainment? I went through the back because it might be the last time I go this way. Yeah, even though the sun was setting, I still did it. Here we go, the last chest. I also grabbed some of the coal from the furnaces, but I leave some behind just in case I die and I don't have a respawn point, so at least I could have an emergency outpost. I'll probably never return, but the thing I'll miss the most is obviously Basement Dave. So I pay my respects to him one last time, just in case. Da 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 da. Basement Dave was there since the beginning. Well, not since the very beginning, but like, you know, like since Alpha 1.0.5. And here I pay my respects and leave him for one last time. Goodbye, Basement Dave. I might return someday, but I don't know, but either way. Here, take my sword. Actually, no, I'm taking that. But, take my helmet. Actually, just kidding, I'm taking that back too. But goodbye, Basement Dave. You will be missed. As I leave the room while staring at the grave or tombstone, I realize that this is the last night of the version, so might as well walk back with pride, as, of course, I make the camera face it back with me walking away. You know, those classic and dumb cinematic shots. Also, I kinda bumped into that table. And even the pig is cheering me on. Go, Joper, yes, you can do it! Same with its other cousins and stuff. At least the mobs weren't disturbing me, so that's really good. Goodbye, Alpha Land. Hello, Beta Land. I stand anxiously right by my little cliff, with the worry of a mob might jump down, so I obviously just built a roof. Not able to fully complete it, but at least I got to watch the sun rise, for the last time in Beta 1.1, of course. And we move on to the next version. I continue construction on the second floor. No creepers were harmed during the film. I cut down my entire orchard to regrow them and create a new generation. I created a fancy little patio because I kinda wanted to. I was feeling fancy, so I added little railings to it. I collected my first ever bow, but a creeper wasn't a fan of me getting any wolves later, so it started staring at me and completely helplessly stared again. I whack an innocent creature with a bone. I create a staircase to my new floor. Yes, I'm making a third floor. Back to the drawing board. Huh? No! Again with the oversized models. Really, Mojang? Looks like a nice spot to hide a body. What? You didn't hear anything. It's just a figure of your imagination, that's all. Back to the Stone Ages. Since tools have 2 times more durability, I believe, I can now mine a lot longer, despite all the gravel patches being annoying. Kinda lonely down here, just me, the gravel patches, and the dancing blocks on the ground, of course. That would probably be the smallest vein of iron I've ever seen in my life. I run around placing torches so that monsters don't camp right outside of my home. Then I of course spend the last day just mining away this tunnel, also finding another iron patch. Another coal vein. I wish diamond veins were big like this. I hit lower land once again. I can make it. I can make it. I can not make it. Did that pig just drown? As I head home, I make sure a sheep dies from the cold and brutal winters. So, you are now cold. And, let's see, anything else to freeze to death? You are now cold. And you are now cold. So, hey, what's hitting me? Oh my god, it's a zombie! Ah! I decommissioned my iron armor as it took a huge beating from that creeper. I forged myself some new combat clothing, and then I dance around in my new armor. Very swag indeed. I got a little carried away, dancing in my new armor, but it was day and there's still a creeper camping right outside of my door. And it's time for the next version. Yeah! As soon as I log in, I'm greeted with a new world selection menu, and also it asks me to convert the world, which takes forever. As soon as I walk in, I get to work on my third floor, which will be my bedroom. And then I sleep through the night. I find some clay along the way of building up my tunnel. Lots of it. Woohoo! First cave, let's go! I find a couple spiders and exterminate them. After my caving trip, I decide to work on the tunnel, which I came across a nice lake, and then I plow through the landscape. I get really excited as I find my first spruce trees. Yeah, I couldn't help but to chop them down. I plow through the landscape once more. I carefully make the bridge. I organize my loot into my chests. I convert the snowballs into snow blocks for building purposes. And then I hit the sack for the last time in beta 1.3. The first thing I do when I log in is look at my door of how ugly it is. Then I just decide to remove the lazy situation and just go the manual way. Then I grab a couple bones and go on the expedition to find some wolves. I also discover some of Mario's friends along the way, while making sure no one finds out. I also discover some amazing iron that I needed, and then I ventured off until I found the perfect place to find a wolf. I didn't venture that far to find the farlands, but I did not find any wolves. I did venture far enough to find this weird-looking zombie cave thing. The night came in hitting me like a hammer, so I ran back home. While waiting for the day to arrive, I'd begin mining again. I score some iron while mining. That's right, I have found more diamonds, finally! So I grab my iron pick, excitedly run down to my mines, to surround my jewelry with air, to collect my new diamonds, and calmly celebrate my new diamonds. I return back to my base to place my 4 new diamonds. Time to go hunt for a dog. Wait a second. Why does this cow's horn look so weird? Whatever. I get to work on my sea level tunnel, only to run out of materials. Then I take a stroll back home. Calmly. It was just a chicken, don't worry. I install some windows in my bedroom because I didn't feel safe without them. And then I go stargazing. Until the creeper police came after me. Then he just camped outside of my door. This is probably because I don't pay my Minecraft taxes, but anyways. And then at the morning I have an epic show-off with him. Sure wish he doesn't come back. Then I go searching again. I venture off so far I find the stereotypical beta generation you would see. Seems like the gods were playing with this dirt block. I find my first ever pumpkin patch of the video. I find another pumpkin patch, but this time it was getting dark. To where at any given time, an animal or mob can jump out and kidnap me. Yay. I bump into this huge animal rights meeting, and another group of animals were on strike underneath my porch for hunting. I ignored the whole ordeal and just organized my chests. And then I wait out the rest of the night. Dawn of version beta 1.5. But I was pretty sad. You wanna know why? I never found a wolf, but this taught me a lesson. Nothing you want happens right away. You just gotta be patient. But for now, on to the next version. As soon as I log in, I was greeted with an achievement called Taking Inventory. I then started fooling around with the graphics settings until this happened. Yeah, I basically got free cave x-ray. I then began working on my little tunnel. I then went around searching for a wolf. Yeah, I didn't even notice it until I started editing this, but anyways, at this point I was just looking for some saplings. Then I just started searching for a dog. I then work on my tunnel again until I finally bump into a cave. A small one. After that whole ordeal, I decided to cross a river that was in the way. I then build the bridge to cross the river. I then spend the rest of the night in this cave system I found. I may have not found any diamonds, but I did find a buttload of iron. I find my way out of the cave only to realize that it's daytime, which means it's the end of beta 1.5. As soon as I log in, I leave the cave that I was in from last version. I then search for a wolf and even look for the new generation in beta 1.6. While heading back to my base, I stumble upon a mushroom that I collect. I then return back to base to sort out all of my items. I then head to sleep, but then was hastily interrupted by a zombie. I give up on sleep and decide to head downstairs as it was almost daytime. I then make myself a new set of tools. I then forge myself a new set of torches. And then I experience my first snowstorm and rainstorm. And then I get to work on my tunnel. I score a few iron here and there. I then make an emergency stop to a tree because I ran out of tools. Then I go back to work. I then bump into a forest in the surface, so then I head back to home. Slowly, but surely, I think it might be time to move. I finally see my home in the distance and slowly enter. I throw all my crap in my chests and log off. Now we move on to beta 1.6.6. As soon as I log in, I get to work immediately onto the tunnel. And then I just stood there all night. As it was still raining, I worked on a bridge across this river. And then I explored the land a bit. And then explored some more. I then built a dirt pillar all the way to the world height. And then I make a little cobblestone path. And then I make a little wood outline. And clear the nearby trees. I place a double chest so I can plop down my stuff in it. Then I clear out the land. I forgot to mention the fact that this version of Minecraft was actually the first version on the Xbox 360 edition and EU edition. Back to the actual video, I fill in this little floor with wood. And since I had nothing, absolutely nothing to do, I just stand there doing nothing and waiting for the morning. Yep, that's literally all I did. Occasionally looking around just in case something bad happened. Eventually, after waiting for a while, I turn around to realize that the sun was rising. You know what this means? It's updating time. Goodbye beta 1.6 and all of its little cousins. And hello beta 1.7. I begin the new version by chopping down some trees. Then I do some landscaping. Then I expand my turf a little bit. When the night approaches, I begin chopping down some more trees. I then have an epic show-off with a creeper. After finding some wolves and realizing that I don't have absolutely any bones, I tried to trap one of them so hopefully I could get it when I come back. Utterly defeated to the fact that I can't even trap the wolves to get them later on, I walk back in sadness. So I tried to rush down to my home only to hear this happen. As luck was on my side, I rushed back up after collecting the new bones I found off the ground just to find another wolf. Finally, after missing several whole versions of not having a dog, I finally get one. With my new companion, I head back inside. I then add a few more finishing touches to my little balcony that I was making. Now I really feel at home. As nighttime approaches, I definitely begin working on my walls because I want to keep my wolf safe. Even during the night. I camp out in my little staircase outpost thingy for a little bit and then head back up. I also work on another layer of my new home. I cowardly hide down below some more until it was day. I moved my outside temporary chest inside and made the journey back to my old base. Then I hastily take a few chests and then I make the long journey back to my house. Then I placed my chests down. Didn't feel too safe with the conditions, so I cover up my windows with dirt. Then I finish off my roofing. Then I watch the sun rise for the last time in beta 1.7 and log off. As soon as I log in, I was greeted by a creeper stepping right outside of my door. While heading to my older base, I come across a wolf swimming across the river. I then continue carefully going to my old base. I arrive and then I crack open my food storage, which ends in disaster. I once again make the long journey back to my base, carefully and slowly. I unpack my consumable luggage and make the journey back to my old base again. I basically make this process several times, and every time I have to make a round trip back and forth, and that approximately takes about 3 to 4 minutes. So I'm just constantly walking and walking and walking. I then enter and steal some stuff, even though it's not stealing when it's already yours, and then head the long journey back to my current base. Woohoo! I embark on another long, excruciatingly long journey back to my old base just to relocate some stuff. Time for that journey again! I am super excited! Actually, no, I'm not. I place my newly transported mysterious objects into my new base. One more journey. Woohoo! As this video is an early Christmas present, it's gonna come in with a bundle of one tiny piece of coal. You watching me cross this entire thing. Enjoy. Now, that's how long I actually went. But you're wondering, why did you miss your offshoot and what the hell is that? This, my friend, is my alpha house. I came all the way back here because I was feeling nostalgic. Here's a quick little tour. These are my little townhouses with nobody in them. That's my weird tree. This is my Alpha 1.0.5 house. This is my Ledurta house. This is my cobblestone house, or just weird house. And this is my portal house thingy. I don't know what is that monstrosity, but we'll ignore that. Now let's head inside the property, shall we? First off, we got my main house, but we'll explore that later. This is my little second floor, and if you haven't watched the first part yet, this is where I did that weird crouching glyph. Yeah. And this is my farm. Not a big impression thing, but at least it has a second floor. And also, watch how I do this cool parkour. Yeah, I'm a parkour god. And this is the base that started it all, with a little entrance to the farm. And also my 2 furnaces that have emergency coal. Now, as we go down, we can see my little old chest area. Also, might as well show you my nether portal. This is my cool portal. And this is my cool fireplace chair thingy. Pretty swag indeed. And as we move on, we go into this weird area. This last area is pretty sacred to me, as this is Basement Dave's grave. Which, if you don't know, he is a white sheep that spawned in my little cave, so I pay my respects to him, take my helmet off, and do my bowing and stuff. So yeah, all that weird stuff. Meet my mind that heads straight to the abyss of the underworld. And then this is my entire base tour. Yay. And also I watched the sunset in my little base area again. For the last time, since I'll probably never go to this place ever again in this video. So yeah, and then I head back to my base. I arrived to my old base to collect some new stuff to bring back. Now, as I approached home, it kinda got to day, which means it's the last night and day in beta 1.7.3. But this next update will probably change Minecraft history forever. As soon as I log in, I was greeted with a new menu screen. I was then very happy, not angry totally, to see the new hunger bar and the new XP bar in the update. I then noticed the glitched out chest model. I then fixed the bugged out chests. I fixed my chests until something goes south, when I finally crash my game once again. When I boot up the game, I check my settings and load up the world while crossing my fingers hoping that nothing bad happened. And nothing bad actually did happen. It's just that I kinda sent back to where I was. I then continue fixing my stuff for a while. When I make it back to my old base once again, I collect my stuff to bring them back. As I make it back home, I take advantage of the new sprinting system. For some weird reason, the rain was making my game really laggy, so I had to turn down my graphics settings. Then when I return back home, I place all my crap in my chests. I then smelt some glass. While all of that was happening, a creeper was stalking me right through my door. I then convert some of my glass into glass planes and started placing them on my window sills. I then step into my balcony to deal with the creeper, only for the creeper to foolishly fall right off the cliff. As my glass finished smelting, I complete my entire window project and fill in the rest. I then eat some bread and go on to a journey again. Then when the sun finally came out again, I raise my graphics settings so it doesn't look ugly. On my way to my old base, I get attempted by a skeleton that was pretty good at sniping, but I flee the situation immediately. I then grab my stuff again and then head back down to my current base. I then commit genocide on a local group of squids. I then work on an infinite water source. I then work on building a farm. I then plant some seeds into my farm. Then I clean my property a bit, and then I plant some of my new seeds. I also cut down some of the trees that were in my property. Then I plant some sugarcane. I also make myself a place to sleep. Then I make the tiring journey back to my old base again. When I arrive, I group my stuff together and head back down after checking through my house and placing all torches. I check out my room one more time before heading back down to my current base. I also realized that it was daytime means I'm already in the next version, so I had to quickly log off and start the next version up. When I log in, I throw the stuff I had in a chest and got to work on my little bridge thingy. On the other side was a desert, and I briefly explored this new biome, and I also see a swamp right next to it, which is a plus. I also see the new water level, which is pretty cool, because apparently beta 1.8 also decreased the water level by 1. I then continue my bridging expedition until I run out of blocks, so I head back home and grab some more. While I was there, I decided to plant the new cactus I found. Then I proceeded to work some more. When I finish the other half, I eventually go back to the other side and place some torches. And I also go back home and also do some more work there. I also harvest my cactus in the stupidest way possible. I then engage in a very intense battle with a zombie and work on a little river thing. I work on the river thing through the night, and then a creeper tried to disturb me, but I still ignored that, and even used the creeper hole as a little advantage to it. I then make a bridge across the little river. I then expand my cactus farm just a little bit, and also same with my sugarcane farms. I also play with the Smurfs village a little bit. Then I fancy up my house a little bit. Then I hang out with my dog for a while. Also, he doesn't even have a name yet, so I decided to start a whole entire thing just to name him. I then reached out to Discord and hosted a voting thing. First we have Chair, which was recommended by Little J and 8, which you might know him. And also to vote for that, you must use the chair emoji in the reacting. Then we have Filbert, who I actually got the name idea from Modern Beta. Since I liked Filbert the most, but I was considering Carl, but I went with Filbert as one of the options. I then add an option of my own, this one being Jason, named after the Jason the Smarty guy, who you might know as the person that I took inspiration for the video, and I voted for him, yippee. I then asked Modern Beta for the 3 options, and they seemed to prefer Chair, for some awkward reason. So then Chair had 3 extra votes. The vote lasted until 8 o'clock PT, but we eventually have a winner. You wanna know what it is? Why not you place your bets? 3, 2, 1. And the winner was Chair. That's right. The dog will be now called Chair. Back to the video, I work on a little path that actually works better to my house. I then go to bed while my dog is roaming around my house. In the morning, I do some exploring around and collect a few pumpkins while also exploring the little chunk boundary. I then make my way back to the path and begin working on my little path that goes over this desert. While going over every major obstacle with ease, I pave the road like it's no big deal. I eventually run out of cobblestone and decide to do some adventuring. And this adventure I was talking about earlier actually means going on a major hunting spree and killing a lot of animals in the local area. I in fact get so carried away with my cow genocide that I eventually do it until it turns night. I make it back to my little bridge area and quickly place some torches, even though the mobs were not happy with that, but I still went on until I finally make it back. There was a spider on my lawn, so I exterminated it with the help of my cactus. There was a zombie across the cliff, so I decided to taunt it with my riches until it kinda ended its own life. I then process my newly hunted game. I then proceed to work around with my furnaces by processing my iron ore. Since this was the last night of beta, I decided to say one last goodbye. Obviously, beta 1.8 changed Minecraft for a while, and actually made it modern, actually, instead of you're being stuck with walking around. So, I mean, you do have to appreciate beta 1.8, but I still prefer beta 1.7.3. And I will always stay loyal to modern beta, which is a cool Minecraft server. You should check it out. But yeah, that's the end of today's video. So I watched the sun rise for the last time in beta, and say my final goodbyes. And get ready for the end update. Before this video ends, I want to say a few things. I am not the luckiest in this video series. And I definitely am not the unluckiest. But I'm kind of glad how everything worked out. The friends I made, the struggles I've done, the builds I've built, everything came into peace, in my opinion. And I'll leave it that way, to be honest. This is Joe Prius signing out.